on a Thursday with our guy, Pep. Pep, what's going down?
Hey, good morning, Patrick. Let's get to some NFL news before we get to the NBA playoffs. And, the old tush push. It's been a hot topic amongst NFL teams. Some say if you can do it, if you can't stop it, then, it's just part of the game. Like the Philadelphia Eagles have perfected it. There's other teams that say, hey, guys get injured. This cannot be part of the game. We need to ban it. Well, there was a vote yesterday amongst NFL owners, and it failed. It was kind of close, but it failed. So as of right now, the tush push is still alive and well.
They say that Jason Kelsey went to talk to him too. The center, kind of one of the originators of him and Jalen Hurts. Yeah, the quarterback can squat 600 pounds or whatever, which is a huge part of it. But a lot of the reason he went there, he said, was that he retired because he got injured on the tush push. And his point was, hey, it's more like a rugby scrum, where like any other play is way more dangerous than the tush push because people are so close together. And it looks like he made a compelling argument.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm not there on the line in the trenches with these guys, but I feel like it's part of football. Like if you can't stop it, the Green Bay Packers, full disclosure, was the team that originated this and tried to ban the tush push, and I think it's because they're not very good at stopping it. And what's funny is if the Eagles quickly went to social media as soon as the ban failed, and they posted a picture that says "push on," and it's the Eagles lined up against the Green Bay Packers, the team that was trying to ban all of this. So. For some reason, it's been a hot button issue, but I guess we'll have to revisit it in the future. But as of right now, it's legal.
The other side of the argument, and I know Mark Schlereth has made this side of the argument, who he is against the tush push, and the reason he is against the tush push is because he says the defense is not allowed to push the defender into him, so it's a disadvantage to the defense. Nevertheless, I mean, there's a lot of people who think this will eventually get banned, but now we have to hear about it for another year. Yeah. We'll have to see what happens, man. Maybe somebody will come up with a way to stop the tush push.
Yeah, I think there were some NFL owners that were looking for some real data, some real numbers saying, hey, every time they run the tush push play, this percentage of times, like someone's getting hurt. There's been this many ACL injuries or this many whatever injuries when the tush push happens, but I don't know if there's any real data out there to show like, hey, it's hurting guys. So if they don't have that, I don't know if they have a real argument to stand on other than it's not fair, we can't stop it.
Right. It's really tough because lots of times data doesn't back up whatever their argument is. I mean, let's not forget Cam Chancellor, they banned that play where they jumped over the line because of course, it could be dangerous, but there's no data showing that there's any injuries to that as well. Yeah. But they ended up banning it. It's kind of tricky to outlaw these rules.
Yeah, it is. It's real tricky. I mean, we've seen modifications to the kickoff, to prevent injuries and help guys stay healthy and not have that head-on collision. So the NFL is always looking for ways to keep the guys' safety, but the tush push is not one of them that they're going to ban as of right now. So it'll live on. The other big news that came out last night was the passing of Colts owner Jim Irsay, and I think he became owner, Patrick, I think it was when he was 37 years old, which would have been the late 90s. Like he was a young owner, the youngest owner at the time, and he's been at the head of the Colts for a long, long time.
You're right, dude. I mean, he may have even become general manager before that, even younger. I mean, people screamed nepotism. But he did do some big things. He did get Peyton Manning. He did get Andrew Luck. Yeah. They were able to get a Super Bowl. It's pretty wild that, I mean, I know that we think now 67 years old, not that old. He wasn't an ancient man. He did have his issues, but that was kind of a shocker when I saw that. I was like, oh, Jim Irsay, wow.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. He's not that old and very outspoken on a lot of things across the NFL. And I'm sure it's going to stay in his family. His dad owned the team, and then it went to him. He's got a lot of extended family, so I'm sure it'll stay in the Irsay family. But, yeah, I was kind of shocked, too, to see that news last night.
And then they showed his last tweet, which was, I mean, just an hour or two before this all happened, wishing luck to the Indiana Pacers.
Yeah, crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, that's the natural transition to get to the NBA playoffs here, because the Pacers and the Knicks had game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals last night, and it was an instant classic. Indiana was down big time in the fourth quarter. In fact, they were losing, Indiana losing to the Knicks by 14 points with 2 minutes and 45 seconds to go. Now, somebody looked this up, and if you were up by 14 with 2:45 to go, teams in that scenario had won that game 994 times with 0 losses. And the Knicks coughed it up. Tyrese Halliburton of the Pacers hit a big 2-pointer. He thought it was a 3, but it was a 2-pointer to send it to overtime. Indiana won it in OT. So a shocker in the game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals.
And then for Pep and I, those of us our age, I mean, we do remember Reggie Miller scoring all those points in 12 seconds or whatever it was, which was very interesting, because even after Halliburton did hit that 2, which he thought was a 3, he did the old Reggie Miller choke celebration, and he admitted he pulled that a little bit earlier. But it's funny that he brought that up, because this is what it reminded us of, man. There's no way they can do this, and they were able to do it, just like Reggie did to the Knicks. It was wild.
Yeah, call back to the IE, right? The pride of Riverside Poly, Reggie Miller. That was, I think, 1994. Reggie Miller had, I think he had 39 in that game, and 24 or 25 of those points came in the fourth quarter to lead Indiana back. But yeah, that choke sign, whenever anyone does it, it's an iconic move now that goes back to Reggie Miller, the guy from Riverside.
The Spike Lee game is
what
we all know it as. And, I mean, look at the Knicks. I mean, Jalen Brunson, 43 points. He went absolutely bananas, and to come up short, that's a little soul-snatching.
Yeah, man. So that was a crazy game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals, and that was a big win for Indiana in overtime. Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals will actually be tonight. We got the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the Thunder officially have the NBA's MVP. It's SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, being the MVP over Giannis, over Nikola Jokic. He led the league in scoring. I guess he deserved it. He was the best player on the best team, led the league in scoring. So I know Jokic probably had the best season of his career statistically. But, man, if you're on the best team with the best record and you lead the league in scoring, how do you not give it to SGA?
As we say, SGA, just like you just said, man, he does pull it off, and good for him. It was kind of cool to see his speech. He was getting all emotional when talking about his wife. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Hey, and all you Clipper fans out there, remember, he was a Clipper first. The Clippers drafted him, and then they got rid of him. So
yeah, they did.
What are you going to do? All right, well, I wasn't trying to make this all about Indiana, but I guess I'm going to as we wrap it up here. The Indianapolis 500 is coming up on Sunday, the 109th running of the Indy 500. And they've got some champions, some 7-time champions that will be in the fastest seat, as they call it, in that car that kind of, on the pace laps to get the race going. They're going to have 7-time Super Bowl champion Tom Brady. He's going to be driven by 7-time NASCAR Cup champion Jimmy Johnson. So some serious star power to get the Indy 500 going on this Sunday.
They are kind of hyping this up pretty well. I mean, also there will be the Weenie 500 on Saturday, where all 6 Wienermobiles are going to be going at it with 6 different themed dogs to represent the United States. I think they're doing a good job of hyping up the Indy 500 this year with all the stuff you talked about as well.
Yeah, I always like the Indy 500, but let's be honest, with NASCAR, it's kind of plays second fiddle, even though there's so much history and tradition with the Indy 500. But, if they can find new ways to attract, different fans, bring out the Wienermobile if that's what it takes. Like, I'm in.
The Weenie 500, they're pulling out the big guns to do this huge weekend. Pep, we will see you after the weekend is done. Can't wait to talk to you once again about what's going down in sports. Tell them how to get your stuff.
Hey, you can get my stuff anytime at Inland Sports. You can find us on X, on Instagram, on Facebook. You can also find us on YouTube. All you got to do is search Inland Sports.
Thanks, Pep.